welcome to our show. Today we're visiting the sports world. I know all of you are familiar with the girls soccer team because they're so famous. Well, we have here their two great coaches. Here we have sitting here our head coach, Don Skelton, and our associate head coach, Frank Holloway. These boys work their heads off for this. We're going to find out why you're still alive. Okay, I want to know, what is the record of this soccer team?
Our overall record, or what we have this year?
Well, no, I want the overall record, and then we'll get it.
Well, I have to think just a little bit, but I think we are 504 wins, 90 losses, and 60 ties.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, how do you rate in the leagues, like the district league and the regional leagues? People always ask that. And the state finals?
Well, we've been luckily in the district finals several years. I'm talking probably 20 years out of the 31 years that I've been there. Regionals, I would say 15 to 16 times, and we've been to state about 9 times, in the state finals 4 times.
Well, that's amazing. That is a real record. I noticed something else that made me think, why you fellas do so well. I saw your, what do you call this?
We call that our informational packet.
Your informational packet. And in this informational packet, you have so much information, there wouldn't be a thing a parent or a player could ask that wouldn't be in here. I think that's amazing. That's why you fellows are so successful.
The support we're getting from the parents is it's wonderful, and it's ongoing. It's not just a one-time thing. It's like a chain that just falls into place, and they do marvelous things for the girls.
That's great. I'm so happy. Frank, how has the school system been treating you, your team?
Oh, great. The support from all of the people, from the superintendent on down, is very good. They attend a lot of our games. There's at least a principal there at almost all of them. The
Really?
athletic director is there. So we really feel that, especially with the new facilities that they've given us.
It seems they're really interested, and they
Yes.
really like the games.
Yes, yes. It's a fun game.
I've enjoyed the games I've been to, are really great. Well, what else has the school done when they have such a successful team?
Well, it's I echo Frank's comments. The support from the school system has been absolutely tremendous, and just in the last 2 years, and I'm not so sure it wasn't because the fact that we probably had some insurance issues on the old stadium, but they leveled the stadium, built a completely new soccer facility which housed 6 teams, 3 boys, 3 girls teams with full locker rooms and everything, and
really?
meeting rooms, and we show DVDs of past games in these rooms, and it's just a first-class stadium, and we're very thankful to what the school system has done for us.
Well, I'm impressed with that. I really didn't realize all that was so new. Frank, when I go to the high school, I see pictures on the wall that go forever. You have pictures of all your girls?
Well, we do in our meeting room. We've put up really a history of our program with their records and their pictures of each team, starting with 1983 and up to the present on the walls, plus special awards that they earn. And right now I'm in the process of putting up a bulletin board area for all academic state honors, which means that the girls had a 3.7 accum or above on it. And it's normally 4 or 5 girls every year on our team that do that, plus our team in the past has had state recognition for academic excellence.
So there is a relationship, you think, between scholar success and playing soccer?
Well, I think we have a team or a program actually that has the kids who are high achievers, and I think they go hand in hand. I think their competitiveness in soccer, along with the grades that they achieve. I mean, our overall grade point average last year, 2012, we're still evaluating this year, was 3.86 as an average for our team. And you, when you have players like that, they're so easy to coach. They do challenge you, but they're just a joy to have around.
Scholarship makes you a good sport, a good athlete.
I think so. I think they go hand in hand.
Yes.
Hand in hand. Frank?
Well, I think so. It says scholar athlete. We really are the scholar first, and then they're the athlete. I think when they move on to college, that's what they'll think too.
Oh, I think they have a good chance for soccer scholarships. Women's soccer is really something in the East in different colleges. All right. I like to talk a bit about your tryouts to get on these teams. I hear it's merciless.
That's all him. No, we normally have anywhere from 70 to high 80s girls trying out. We normally carry 18, 19 players on a team. So out of those tryouts, it's going to be about, maybe 75% of those who try out make one of our teams. And our teams, we have a B reserve team, which is made up of freshmen and sophomores. We have an A reserve team, which is freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. And then we have a varsity team that's made up of all 4 classes. But unfortunately, we have so many good soccer players, and it's a wonderful problem for us to have, but we send home people who are not successful in tryouts that could play at any school in the area. And they're that good, and it's probably the worst day of our lives that evening when when the postings are held. But the tryouts themselves, Frank runs the summer program, which starts at the end of June and goes through the 31st of July. And it's we have conditioning, and we have scrimmages, and we're able to evaluate players not just on a 3-day tryout period, but probably about a 30-day period.
Yeah. See them actually kind of play, and you can tell what they'll do.
Right.
And you keep busy all summer with that.
All summer with that. They sometimes I think they think we just walk out on the field, but Don and my preparation is quite extensive. We start long before June preparing for this, and then when it happens, it's almost every night. It's at least 4 to 5 nights a week.
In the summer.
In the summer, and the girls know that they have to be in shape to show their skills the best for us. So.
How about now, after school, do they come right away?
Every day they are there after school. They get a day off once in a while, but normally Sunday is it. We're playing on Saturdays, and at least one game per week there. So there is practice every day. They get there about 3 o'clock, and they probably are excused about 5:30.
Okay, I understand you even have food there.
There's food in the locker room because these kids are hungry after school.
Oh,
and
I
it's
know.
usually, it's not usually, it's always nutritional type of items that they have, and there's a refrigerator and a microwave and so forth. They kind of want for nothing. But about 6 times during the season, the parents will put on full-blown dinners after a practice. For instance, if we were practicing tonight till 5:15, we would walk in the locker room and there's probably a big spread of lasagna and salads and things like that.
Nice.
So it's the athletes are treated well, but they deserve it.
And they work hard.
They work extremely hard.
I saw you get excited over a game, and you ran out. You were running all along the side. You weren't on the field, but you were giving directions.
Janet, I haven't ran in 20 years. I was probably scooting quickly.
Okay.
But I do get a little excited at times on the sideline, and
All right. So you do
Frank
some
keeps
coaching.
me under control.
Do you? It's hard work, huh?
Hard work, yes.
All right. You've talked about an awful lot of teams. How many girls are involved on all the teams? Can you estimate that?
Anywhere from 55 to 60 on the 3 teams.
Okay. That's quite a few girls. All from one school. They have to be from...
Oh yes, that'd be in the Centerville School District.
All right.
And they're all different personalities, and you reach each one individually. It's not, you have to understand every player in the program, what makes them tick, if you will.
All right. You two work so closely, and you kind of have different jobs. How did you work this out? You started, what, 2 years after?
2 years afterwards, Don asked me to join his program, and I started out with the B reserve team, and then moved to the A reserve team. And really, actually, when I was with the A reserve team, I helped with the varsity a little bit too at that time. And then probably about 10 years now, Don, I've been fully with the varsity only, the two of us together. And
well, do you have coaches for the other teams when you're concerned with the A team?
Yes, we did. I had an assistant. I actually started out with my son as my assistant, and then through the years I've had former players help on the A team, teachers that have helped on the A team through all those years. Yes.
Now, is this true for you?
Well, we have 7 coaches on our staff right now. We have 2 coaches with our B team, 2 coaches with our A team, and then Frank and I and Terry Paulus is our goalkeeper coach, and it seems to have worked out very well. I think all the coaches understand the traditions that we have, what we expect, and they coach in that same manner to preserve the tradition of the program, if you will.
Well, when I see your program here, I realize that is true. You must really have put it thoughtfully together. It's
actually the committees do most of that work. We get the information to them, but as Frank says, this is something that's really year round. It's not just showing up, playing the game, starting the 3rd week of August. It's every month there's something that goes into preserving the traditions of the soccer program.
When I saw how hard those girls run, and they run a whole game, some of them, how could they ever have so much training that they could do that? How long is your game?
Game is 80 minutes.
Yes.
With and I always kid the football coaches. I said 80 minutes on a bigger field and no timeouts. So it's we kind of hook and jab there a little bit. But to get back to the training, what we do in the summer is it helps. But most of these players are doing either soccer year-round or soccer and track, soccer and basketball. So they're just 12-month-a-year athletes, and they come in conditioned, they know what's expected. We have last night we had 5 girls who played all 80 minutes, and that's a long time to be going up on a field that's 70 by 120.
People don't realize that they just keep running and running, and they're not using their hands. The feet are really working.
It's they know what it's all about, and it's just a tribute to the way they keep themselves in shape, how it affects our program.
Do you have many injuries?
We have some injuries. We're working. I think we've had 3 on the varsity this year. 1 preseason, a couple of ankles that may have gotten kicked, and they're hurting, and a few back problems, and we seem to have the support people, the additional players past the initial 11 that can step in and take their places, and it gives us time to bring the injured people back on a slow and proper basis.
That's like a professional football team.
Well, we have a full-time athletic trainer at all of our home games and all of our practices, and this is a pretty nice training facility that is housed again in this new soccer stadium that was built last summer.
And there's good parking.
Oh, we
pretty good parking.
Yeah, that's between the Magzik and the Klein.
All right, the the girls that are defending the goals, are they especially trained?
Yeah, they've played the position before. We're blessed this year that we have 4 young ladies who played the same positions basically last year. One has transformed into that position, but they almost take it as a challenge to look at the other team we're playing and find out, well, this is their best player. I'm going to make sure she doesn't score. And I think all that pride, the players who score the goals, they get the most notoriety.
Sure.
The girls in the back, though, I don't want to say they're our favorites, but we think an awful lot of how hard they work for no notoriety.
Because they have to pass the ball on.
Yeah, and they have to take it away from the other players.
Oh, they have to take it away?
Oh, yeah, they have to steal that ball and put us back so we can get the other people's players' names in the newspapers.
How do you teach them to take it back?
Well, I think, again, that's part of the organization that we have. Each practice every day has a destination that it's going to, that we're looking for, and the skills that we're trying to teach them that day. It's not just go out there and kick it.
I'm looking at your legs. Both of you have pretty developed legs. Do you have to demonstrate yourself?
We would probably be in trouble at this point if we had to do all the demonstration. At one time in our careers we did, but at this point our demonstration would be telling them how to do it instead of showing them how to do it.
Or we'll bring in one of our young assistant coaches who can certainly demonstrate better than us.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 2
I see them running down, and they holler to each other too. There's a lot of hollering.
Well, we call it communication. They have to talk to each other so that they know what the play should be or where they're passing the ball without looking, that they know that someone is there.
They pass without showing.
Yes.
Oh, tricky. Don't let them see what your eyes are doing. Well, I often wonder about coaching. I know there's football coach and basketball, and that men coach men. Now here you are, 2 men coaching women. Is it tough? Speak up.
It is tough, and I've had men coaches other than Frank who have assisted, and they've lasted 1 year and says, I don't know how you coach girls with all the different personalities. And I think this is how I approach it. I think Frank's on the same page. We know that soccer is very important to these girls in their lives, but it's not their top priority. They've got other things in their lives, and maybe we're second on the totem pole, maybe we're fourth with another one and so forth. Once you understand the rest of the things that's going into their lives, and that's why I mentioned before, you find out the personality of each player. Once you understand all that, and you include that in your preparation and your discussions in the meeting rooms and so forth. I've never coached boys, other than my son when he was 8 years old, and that was a disaster. But the girls just seem so responsive to you, and I think it's the fact that we relate to their entire aspect of their life rather than just soccer.
I know they speak of you affectionately. I think there's a nickname out for you, Papa Don.
Yeah, that's something that my grandkids really called me, and it's migrated into my license plate number, and they enjoyed doing that and kidding me, I think.
Well, that shows that they respect you, and they're not going to behave and do what you ask if they distrust you or they don't think you have their best game in mind. Do you ever have discipline problems?
Oh, occasionally, and we normally deal with it together. We try to approach it not in as, well, you did this or so forth. We try to find out how we can improve this player to get away from maybe something that she shouldn't have done.
Oh.
So Frank and I are not teachers, but I think, with his 29 years and my 31 years, that's 60 years in the program. I think we've taught 30 years, in the program. Yes. Combined.
I'm not surprised. You mentioned before that you go over things with them, so you do things outside of the field too?
Well, you want to talk about scouting?
We do a lot of, as I said, preparation now, not with our players, but Don and I scout the other teams that we're going to play against, so that we have tendencies that they do, and we then inform our girls of what those teams will do and so forth, to expect what's going to happen on the field.
Oh, your scouts. You probably have other scouts too. I bet some of the parents are out there checking out other teams.
I'm sure that they are checking them out, and sometimes they probably thinking, what are we doing as coaches on the sidelines? They said, gee whiz. But I think that we've done a good job over the years and have enjoyed it. And as Don said, each girl is a different personality. Unlike him, I started with boys. So I've done boys and girls, and the girls are more enjoyable.
I imagine so. How about their physical thing? I notice a lot of the girls are tall. They appear as tall and thinner.
Is
that
really, there's all different makeups, sizes, shapes, and everything else that goes into the program. Found over the last few years the game has gotten a little bit more physical, so probably the bigger girls may be a little bit sturdier, but we've been able to overcome other teams that are big. We have our share of tall players, but we have a couple of girls who are very tiny, and they're like mighty mites.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's interesting to note. The stadium you have is really very comfortable to even come and sit in. And I noticed that there didn't seem to be a place for them to sit, the players. I was looking over the side to see where they all were.
Well, we have a bench, which is actually a covered bench that sits right on the sideline. That's where they sit. It seats approximately 24 people, and the opposing team, of course, sits on the other side on their benches. But it could be that the cover that we have over the bench, possibly that's why you didn't see them sitting there. But they have a place to sit, and it's covered.
Yeah, I didn't want them people throwing things at them.
No, they throw it at Frank and I right before they'll throw it at the kids.
They do. All right, you two, do you ever have to get out on the field and actually walk through a play with them?
We do that at our practice sessions, yes. And once in a while we will practice in the stadium to really run these set plays that we're going to use. But most of the time we implement them on our practice field. And we do get out there and we walk through. We used to trot through, we used to run through. But we've declined to the walking through status at this point to implement these plays what we want.
Okay.
Actually, the players are a lot smarter than we are. I think they implement them themselves.
They're probably quicker.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. They keep the grass mowed real thin on there. I was wondering, I saw what I thought was kind of high grass. Wouldn't they have to keep that?
Yeah, at our facilities, they work on it all the time. As a matter of fact, today I was up there and the maintenance crew was lining the fields and cutting it and lining our practice fields and cutting it. They're watered every day, the fields, so the facilities are excellent.
So now that's your main field? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I would like to go see another game, knowing a little bit more than I know now. And watching you too. I'd like to even come and see some of your practice to see how you work with these girls. I hope you continue doing this. This is an amazing thing. This is your really organization. There's literally hundreds of people in here.
It's a wonderful piece of material there, and it really, I don't know about my predecessors, whether they had one or not, but in 1983 we started that, and I think that is a tradition, regardless of who the coaching staff will be in the future. I think that's a necessity, and I think probably most of the programs in the overall Dayton area, they have something like that, whether it's as extensive as ours.
Do you ever meet with other coaches or things to work out schedule?
The scheduling is done by the athletic department. We'll give them suggestions on who we would like to play, what the dates are. We don't want to be like we are right now, where we have 5 games in 8 days, because that's too tough on the physical nature for the girls, I think. But the athletic department normally takes care of all the scheduling.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, this has been very informative. I want to thank you two for coming. And I know people must be curious to see your girls, well, I shouldn't say that, the Lady Elks play. And I hope my audience will also come to see the games.
Thank you.
Thank you.